Hi, it's Chris Simoneau, the Chief Foundation and Development Officer for Lee Health and the Lee Health Foundation. And I just wanted to say thank you to the Lee Memorial Auxiliary for their support of expanding our pediatric behavioral and mental health services, and especially through their gift of $375,000. It's sad that we can't be together in person to celebrate and thank you and share all the information that we have about the impact that you're making for children in our community. But COVID has got us in a place where we have to do these remote conversations and express our appreciation virtually. But I wanted you to know how extremely grateful that I am. And I'm not just grateful because I'm the Chief Foundation Officer and you're making a difference in our system. I'm really grateful because I'm a parent. I have 3 teenagers and 21, 19, and 16. And I see the impact that this COVID situation is having on their mental health. And in fact, my wife and I, are users of the Lee Health Behavioral Health Services for children. And so your gift and your generosity has made a difference in our lives. I had a senior last year in high school the end of her senior year was completely disrupted. And then she had a very, very unusual freshman year in college. I had a 15-year-old at the time who spent her entire year in remote learning. And the impacts that those changes are having on our kids' lives are significant. And it's creating anxiety and depression, isolation. They're scared. They don't know where to go. And it's really critical that your investment has helped to expand the number of psychologists and mental health care providers that we have, to reduce the wait times for families to get their children to be seen, that we're doing programs out in the community to help kids, whether they're virtually, online, or in person. And so all of those things are made possible by your generosity. And I just wanted to say thank you in 2 regards. One, again, as the Chief Foundation Officer, but also as a parent and a member of our community and someone who has benefited greatly from your generosity. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all in person very soon.
Lee Memorial Auxiliary Board, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your thoughts, prayers, and financial support. It's especially important to me because it's what allowed me to become part of the Lee Health team. It's continued to bless our practice by providing funding to increase both the quality and depth of our services. And this couldn't have come at a more important time. With the COVID pandemic, the mental health needs of our community have absolutely skyrocketed. We're one of the few practices in Lee County that accept all patients regardless of their insurance or their ability to pay. As a result, we're helping families that would otherwise be unable to afford services. I wish you were able to see and hear the patients' stories so that you could appreciate the lives that you've affected through your donations. We would not be what we are today without your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being trailblazers and pioneers in helping us to raise funds for pediatric mental and behavioral health. Your commitment of $375,000 was the first commitment that went to staffing positions to provide direct care to children in our community. It was with your dollars that we were able to hire Dr. Jason Sabo, who today leads the team of psychologists in our mental health clinic. Since then, many have followed suit through Kids Minds Matter, the Wine Fest, and other funding sources. But you were the first ones to say, we believe in this need and we are willing to support a psychologist for these children. At the time when we approached you, we had 1. Today we have 5. And that 5 is surrounded by a huge team of mental health providers. And so I want to thank you for having the trust in us, for putting your dollars to work in changing children's lives. I'm sorry that we can't be together in person, but please feel my heartfelt gratitude over the video. Thank you all.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Lee Health Auxiliary for the generous donation of $375,000 towards mental health and pediatric behavioral health. In 2017, when we first started our mental health journey, the Lee Health Auxiliary was the first group to step in and make a donation of $75,000 annually for 5 years towards paying for salary for a pediatric psychologist. Your bravery in making that leap at that time started our mental health journey, and you have made such a huge difference. We started with one psychologist back in 2017. We're on track to have probably 10 psychologists by the end of this year. We are eternally grateful for your generosity and your courage and your willingness to pay towards a position that was recurring and obviously very, very helpful and much needed within pediatrics and Golisano children's. Our expectation is we'll have over 11,000 visits this year in behavioral health for children. This is up from around 1,700 in 2017. You helped make this happen, and for that, we are always and eternally going to be grateful. Thank you again to the Lee Health Auxiliary for your generosity, for your forward thinking, and bravery.
Hi, everybody. This is Paul Simeone. I'm the VP Medical Director for Behavioral Health at Lee. And it's my great delight, truly, to have this opportunity to thank the Lee Memorial Auxiliary for their very generous pledge of $375,000 that has gone to the recruitment of some additional pediatric psychologists. As you know, we are in a pretty serious mental health epidemic here in Southwest Florida. And having the ability to hire additional resources, particularly top psychologists. We have hired a bunch of really fabulous psychologists because people are really wanting to come to work at Lee, given our reputation. So anyway, I just want to tell you, it means so much to me. I've been here almost 3 years and have really worked hard with collaborations like the one we have with you, to really build out as much mental health capacity as we can have, and especially during COVID, this has been really critical. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate all that you've done and all that you're doing. And if there's anything that I can do to sort of help you better understand what's going on in the behavioral health community, I would be happy to give a talk, a presentation. I think I did this very early on when I first came here. It was a wonderful conversation with a bunch of you're all wonderful people. And so I would be absolutely happy to do that. And thanks very much again for all that you've done. Be well, everybody.
Several years ago, we came to you with a big problem and an even bigger ask. You were trailblazers in the funding of positions that started our outpatient pediatric behavioral health program. Since then, our program has grown by leaps and bounds. We now have 5 psychologists, up from 1, and we have been able to see thousands upon thousands of more pediatric visits in our center because of you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your generosity and for the faith and the trust that you have in us to use those funds to provide the access that is needed in our community. Thank you.